ResortLoop.com is proudly sponsored by Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company. Look for Joffrey's kiosks throughout the Walt Disney World theme parks. This holiday season, visit Joffreys.com for a variety of specialty coffee gifts, featuring mugs, their new coffee variety gift sets, and the brand new Jingle Jangle Java-flavored coffee, with vanilla mint flavor and smooth chocolate and nutty notes, only at Joffreys.com.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Please board quickly and safely. Our monorail will be departing momentarily. Thank you.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Scott.
I'm Bob Collar.
This is ResortLoop.com. This is episode 268. And Bob, how are we doing today?
We're feeling a little melancholy, I think, today, Tim. Reflecting on some of the things that are going on in the world. This is going to be kind of a little bit more of a serious show. We don't usually do these kind of shows, but
no, it's been a tiring week with everything.
Yeah, it's been a very difficult week. Yeah, and we just wanted to first, express our thoughts and prayers out to everybody in France right now that are affected by what's been going on over there. Everybody all over the world, really.
Honestly, yes.
That is being affected by the goings on of bad guys in the world, if you will, and I thought it'd be a good opportunity, Tim, to kind of, because I know a lot of people my wife and I have talked about it, and a lot of people are now rethinking their travel plans.
That's only natural, I think, after something like what has happened recently.
Absolutely, and it's all over the news here in the States that security is heightened extremely for New York City with the holidays coming up, the parades that are going to be coming up. Everybody likes to travel during the holidays to experience that holiday sensation that you get.
Yes,
going to New York and Chicago, the big cities, and Walt Disney World and Disneyland as well.
Oh yeah, the big ones are up there.
Right. So I thought what we would do is kind of just you and I kind of talk a little bit about how we feel about maybe making a trip to Walt Disney World or Disneyland at this time. We tried to research Disney security.
Yeah, good luck.
They keep that stuff pretty tight to the vest.
No, you're not going to find anything, and if you find it, I don't think it's going to be very accurate at this point.
Right. So a couple of things I found real quick was the Disney careers. So here's what they say. If you wanted to get a job working security at Walt Disney World or any of the Disney facilities, they say that whether you're a security host, special investigations manager, threat assessment director, or community watch organizer, you'll improve and advance the security, safety, and emergency preparedness of the company through threat assessment and intelligence-driven reporting, special event security, visitor and access control, special crimes investigation, and crisis management. Now, that's kind of their description of some of the things you'll be doing if you were to get a job at Walt Disney World. And here's another thing I found, Tim. Just on the WaltDisneyWorldCompany.com website, where they're talking about just about the company. Okay?
Right.
Park security. This is, quote, "Our security teams are dedicated to promoting a safe and secure environment for all of our guests and cast members. More than 1,000 cast members are employed in security operations at the Disneyland and Walt Disney World resorts." So that is about all we could find.
That's it. Which is good. I'm happy with that.
Well, absolutely. After, we all know here in the United States what happened, all over the world actually, what happened after September 11th. Disneyland and Disney World shut down the parks for one day to assess what was going to happen, what was going on in the world. And, they opened right back up the next day. I mean, I'm sure it was pretty much all hands on deck. They had everybody working in security and safety around the parks those days just to make sure And when we got to go through those bag checks, there's a reason we do. We think that we're just being
singled out,
detained a little bit.
Right.
Detained. We want to get in there and ride the ride.
Do you know what's right on the other side of that gate?
Right. We, they're making sure that we're all safe and secure.
And I think that strikes us a little closer because we're going there to escape the real world to begin with.
Absolutely.
So it's given us just a little reminder of what's actually going on before we get in there.
Right. And again, it goes back to what you and I have said so many times before. That's why we go to Walt Disney World, is that escape. The real world is what it is, and we've seen some of the most ugly portions of it over the last couple of weeks. And, being at Walt Disney World or Disneyland or any of the Disney parks to escape that reality is kind of a good thing. It makes you feel a lot better. I was able to find, Tim, this is from the good people over at hiddenmickeys.org.
Okay.
Disney World security secrets. How about that?
Oh my goodness, that's a headline.
They got in there, right?
You're on the ground.
This is one of their secrets. Okay, I'm gonna read right from their website.
Okay,
it says security is equipped with land hosts, which are costumed in the park and in the resort hosts. So security, motors, of course, security vans and cars all over the place. RTOs, which RTO stands for Retail Theft Operative. Investigators, lost prevention specialists, communication dispatchers, RSOs, which are resort security officers, supervisors, and managers. Disney has 10 Orange County Sheriff's Office deputies in cruisers on property around the clock, and 6 OCSO detectives on property 14 hours of the day.
Wow.
And at last count, there were 1,248 men and women in the Disney Security Department.
Right.
Now that was actually reported back in 1998.
Wow.
So now you go almost 20 years ahead with all of the craziness that has been going on in the world. You think that might be upped a little bit?
I think it's upped, and I think they can those numbers can be fluid depending on what information they might have.
Oh, absolutely.
What's going on in the world.
Absolutely. We know we've watched a lot of documentaries and followed the Disney company for so long that we know that the United States government and the governments around the world are in constant contact with the Disney company. They let them know if they have any threats against them, so that Disney may be able to up their game as well. That they've got all of the infrared stuff in any of the dark rides.
I think they have, I don't even want to go into what they have because I don't want to seem like I know something, but I think they have a whole lot more going on there than we even know about or can even see.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't even speculate on what that kind of stuff is, but.
Right. I'm just going to say this.
Yes.
For all of the hidden Mickeys that are around the parks.
Right.
I think you could double that amount as far as hidden cameras and microphones and security whatevers around the parks. So we know that they've had to shut down Haunted Mansion how many times for people trying to leave things.
Yes.
I'm just going to say it that way.
That's fine.
Leave things.
That's right.
In the ride, as soon I know that one of the things that I read was they have, and this was back in the 90s. They actually have sensor pads all along the tracks, all along the ride tracks, so that they know if something gets set down, it triggers an alarm.
Okay.
So, and again, that was back in the 90s. The world has changed considerably since the 90s. So.
Yeah, I'll say some of these refurbs where it doesn't look like a whole lot of stuff's been done maybe to an attraction. Maybe they weren't actually done for part of the show.
Ah, there you go.
Just easier to take care of some stuff when you don't have people going through there seeing exactly what you're doing.
There you go. Yeah. Good point.
Yeah. But let me ask you this. Did you?
Yeah.
Just getting back a little bit. Did you fly right after 9/11 down to Florida or visit down there? Did you notice anything or anything happen to you?
We did. We didn't fly. We only have flown twice. No, 3 times since 9/11.
Okay.
And the TSA guys are on it. I mean, I didn't have any problems. We actually, coming back from Orlando, leaving Orlando International Airport back to Cleveland. My son was very young, and the kids were both very young. He had asthma at the time, and we had all of his chemicals, the inhalers and all the steroids and all that stuff. So it was in a bag, and the security at the airport was swabbing the bag, and she goes, "Hold up, I got a problem here." And I'm thinking, what? No, you don't have a problem with me. Trust me, you don't have a problem with me. And she goes, I'm coming up with a chemical here. And we're like, what the? So we had to empty out the entire bag. They took us to the side. We had to empty out the entire bag. You know what it was? We had a squirt gun, because the kids like to play with squirt guns in the swimming pools. So I'm guessing the chlorine and all of the chemicals from the pool were still, there was still a little bit of water in the squirt gun.
Okay.
And that's what triggered them. So I mean, they were right on it the whole time. And now, did you fly right after 9/11?
We flew down during President's Day, which would have been 2002.
Oh, okay, right.
So that very next year, early in the year, and we had that was the first time we had flown into Melbourne.
Oh, okay, right.
Because it was just a much cheaper flight, and it's a very small airport, but it was just weird getting off the plane. And there were National Guardsmen there and they just happened to have machine guns.
Right.
Now, they weren't pointed at us. They were just, making sure everybody was safe and everybody was doing what they had to do. And it was just a little odd, but I mean, we felt very safe.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah, I think you're going to have a lot. Everybody's stepping up security right now. Around the world, and including around the Disney parks. I'm sure that the folks at all the airports are heightened security. The folks at the Disney parks are absolutely on heightened security. And really, Tim, the biggest part of this, let's really be honest about this, and this is no slam on anybody, but the Disney company has an awful lot to lose. More so, I think, even than a government, let's say. A government can take a few hits and still recover. The Disney company, they can't afford anything bad happening.
Oh, when tourism is their livelihood?
Right. So they're going to really step it up and make sure everyone is safe in and around their parks. So, in light of everything going on, if you still had reservations down at Walt Disney World or Disneyland, would you still go?
I would still go. I think I'd just maybe be a little more aware.
Right.
Just kind of maybe keep an eye out, see if anything doesn't look or feel right. But I would go.
Absolutely. Yeah. Me too. There's just too much safety, I think, around the parks, and I would have no problem going, and I would not. I wouldn't be bothered by being there at all.
Right.
Not at all. I know Disney has it well in hand. So that's pretty much. I know this is a short show.
Yeah.
But I thought it was kind of important. We thought it was kind of important to touch on this with everything going on. Obviously you have to assess your own family and your own level of comfort.
Right. I mean, if you're not comfortable going, I mean, you don't hate to spend the money when you're not going to have a good time if you're constantly worrying. But
right. And I will be. I'll be. And of course, I don't know for sure, but I'm sure Disney, if you had reservations and you decided you didn't want to go, and you're outside of that cancellation period, I'm sure that they would probably still honor any type of cancellation and
work with you on something.
Yeah, they'd work with you.
I would think so,
because they're very understanding about that kind of stuff. When we were down there during a hurricane, we wanted to leave a little bit early, a day early, and they took care of things without causing us any added money.
Yeah.
And you know me and money.
Oh, they're hard to separate.
Exactly.
I've heard that they're even very understanding of like where you're leaving. You're having like weather phenomenon up there where you can't get out on time.
Right.
You know, if it's something obvious. So
now they're not going to hold a cruise ship for you. That we know.
no,
you might have to fly to the first port.
Right.
If
Right.
you want to catch up to a cruise ship. But I say go. I say have a great time. Again, escape the world for just a little while.
And then send us a trip report.
And send us a trip, or at least a show open.
At least.
So, yeah. So, anyway, Tim, that is all I've got.
Bob, thank you very much. I thought it was something that we really just had to touch on and discuss just a little bit moving forward and getting ready for a nice end of the year and moving into 2016.
That's right.
Excellent. Exactly. Everybody, thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Scott. You can find me on Twitter at ResortLoopTim, on Facebook at Tim Resortloop Scott, and on the website, ResortLoop.com.
I'm Resort Loop Bob on the Twitter and Instagram. Don't forget to like us on Facebook over there and rate us on iTunes. And where else can they listen to?
You could always find us over at the Stitcher. Everybody, thanks for joining us. This has been The Gateway to the Magic.
See you, everybody.